So, for those of you who have done a meditation with me before, you know how this goes. For those of you who have not, I want you to give yourself the freedom to play, pretend, and imagine. There is a wonderful part inside of your mind that knows exactly what you need, knows exactly the right journey to bring you on, the right experiences to walk you through, and that part inside of your mind that knows what is best for you to experience your own self-care and self-love will take you on the journey that is right for you, bring you to the experiences that are right for you, and allow you the freedom to enjoy whatever is most right for you as we go through this process. Bring yourself into that breath and bring your attention to that breathing. Intentionally breathing in life and releasing stress, anxiety. Breathing in love and letting go of fear or insecurity. And I want you to bring that breath all the way down to your feet. And just imagine the consciousness going with that breath all the way down to your feet. And observe and notice any spaces or places inside that are blocked or holding tension or tighten up. And just notice them. Allow them to be wherever they need to be. And then bring that breath and that consciousness all the way up to the very top of your head. Again, noticing any spaces or places inside that are holding any stress or tension, that are resisting the state of relaxation. And I want you to imagine now bringing that breath to the very center of your heart. And the center of your heart, I want you to imagine opening up into your most perfect place. And in that most perfect place, I want you to experience all of the love around you. Love through the entire universe that has been waiting for you. And I want you to notice through your life all of those spaces and places where you've been resisting that love. And maybe it's out of fear or insecurity or doubt. Maybe you don't feel like you're worth it. And that's okay. Just observe those moments, those thoughts. And then I want you to imagine stepping into the very center of your heart once again. And I want you to imagine scanning through your body from head to toe. And I want you to notice a place inside that we call your divine spark. This is the piece of the universe that is inside of you, the piece of your absolute and unconditional love and being. And I want you to notice right now whether that divine spark is bright or dim. I want you to imagine creating in your mind a dimmer switch that controls the brightness of that divine spark. And simply practice turning it up and turning it down. Turning it up and turning it down, noticing the more that you turn it down, the more that you go into doubt and insecurity, the more that fight or flight kicks in, the more scared, uncertain, and cloudy you become. And just observe that. And then the more that you turn it up, the more connected, the more free, the more relaxed you feel, the more confident, the more secure, the more crisp your thoughts become. And just practice turning it up and turning it down until you've got it dialed in perfectly, and noticing the more that you turn it up, the less you want to turn it down. And then I want you to imagine taking that consciousness from the center of that divine spark all the way out through your feet to the very center of the earth, the very center of this human experience. And as you go through that beam of light out the top and the bottom, going all the way through your feet, I want you to notice those spaces and places that are holding blocks, that are blocking your connection to this physical world. your connection to receiving all of the physical connection that you need from the people around you, physical contact, and observing those blocks, realizing that they have been protecting you the best way that they could from what they thought were threats. And I want you to imagine embracing each and every one of these blocks. And I want you to thank them and appreciate them for playing the role that they have to keep you safe. But realizing now that they have been protecting you from connecting even deeper. So as you embrace each and every one of these blocks, imagine them melting away. That wonderful caress for who and what you are. And feeling those blocks now melting, merging, blending, becoming one with you again, and providing even more energy until you reach the very center of the earth. And imagine the center of the earth itself giving you the greatest hug in the world. That perfect mother giving you the greatest hug in the world. And I want you to take a moment and I want you to receive that hug. Receive that love. Because right here and right now, you are perfect, you are beautiful, and you are amazing. And that mother loves you unconditionally, always has and always will. And then bringing that consciousness all the way back to the center of your divine spark. And then all the way out the top of your head on a beam of light that connects you back to source, back to the center of the universe, and observing and noticing any blocks there. And as you come upon any of these blocks, these fears and doubts and insecurities that have kept you disconnected from your full spirit, embrace them. Caressing each and every one of these blocks and appreciating these blocks for doing the very best that they could with what they knew, trying to protect you and keep you safe. And as you embrace each and every one of these blocks, feel them melting away, realizing they've played their purpose, they have lived up to their potential and their role. And it's time for each and every one of these blocks to relax, release, and let go. Going all the way up to the very center of the universe itself. I want you to imagine connecting your most perfect Father. And feeling that most perfect Father giving you the greatest hug in the world. The center of the universe that has been watching you your entire life. The ultimate Father, as the earth was the ultimate mother. And then bring yourself back to the very center of that divine spark. And then noticing a column of energy going out to the left and the right. And imagine taking your consciousness out to the left. And noticing all of those blocks that have been preventing you from connecting to your personal, internal Father archetype. Your personal, internal Father. In this life, in this experience. And notice all of those blocks that have been protecting you from that Father. And I want you to acknowledge and observe that these blocks have been doing their very best to protect you and to keep you safe, and embracing each and every one of them for doing their job. And feeling all of those pieces and parts melting, blending, melding, merging, coming back to you, until you connect with that perfect Father. Your perfect version of the Father you get to be for yourself. And imagine your perfect internal Father giving you the greatest hug. And then bring consciousness back to the center and moving out to the right. And noticing all of those blocks that have been protecting you from that perfect mother archetype, your internal mother, how you mother yourself. Because the earth and the universe, those are the external archetypes of mother and father. But these ones to the left and the right are your internal mother and father for yourself. So notice all of those blocks that have been protecting you from nurturing yourself, from loving yourself, from showing yourself care. And realize that these pieces and parts have been doing their very best to protect you and to keep you safe. And as you embrace each and every one of these, feel those blocks melting and connecting fully to your internal personal mother. Feeling the greatest hug in the world from that personal internal mother, and allowing yourself the freedom to receive. And then feeling all of that energy coming back to your center, back to your divine spark. And then moving backwards to the column of energy out of your back to your past, and all the way back to your birth as a soul. And I want you to notice all of those blocks that have been protecting you from painful memories, traumas. And I want you to embrace those blocks because they have protected you and they have kept you safe. But realize that it might very well be time to embrace these pieces and parts of yourself as a part of your whole. Feeling those blocks melting, blending, merging, becoming one with you again. And the energy from those old experiences now being transformed into something better for you. And feel all of that energy as you connect back to your birth as a soul. And I want you to imagine holding yourself as a newborn in your arms. And I want you to give yourself the very same love that you will give to that newborn coming into the universe, birthed as a soul. And I want you to experience for a moment the feeling of being held like that baby. Coming into the universe with fresh eyes. Experiencing love throughout your entire existence back to this present moment. Back in the center of your divine spark, bringing all of that energy back with you. Realizing that throughout your entire existence, you have always created ways, no matter how small, to provide self-care and self-love. No matter how much trauma and how much darkness you've experienced, there have always been moments of self-love and self-care. And then with all of this energy from your external mother and father, and your internal mother and father that you have become, and your child self. All of those resources now returned to your present moment. I want you to imagine taking your energy, your consciousness out to the front on that column of energy, way into your future. And then I want you to imagine embracing all of those blocks that have been protecting you from that future. Realizing that they have been doing their very best to keep you safe and to protect you, embracing each and every one of them until you open the door at the end of that future. And as you do, I want you to imagine becoming the wisest version of yourself. Meeting the wisest version of yourself that has been through it all. Every experience that you have ever had or will ever have. And I want you to imagine that wisest version of yourself embracing you appreciating you for everything you've gone through, challenging yourself at any given moment to become an even better version of yourself in any given moment. And I want you to imagine this ancient, wise version of yourself giving to you a gift. Something that will help you to remember that you deserve and are capable of self-care and self-love in any given moment. And I want you to notice that magic object that will help you to remember your value and your worth, that will help you to remember what you have been through, what you have accomplished, and what you are set up for in the future. And I want you to observe that object. Bring that object with you as this wisest version of yourself also gives you a word of advice. A word of advice that will help you to recognize the biggest place that you have been blocking yourself from self-love and self-care, from taking care of yourself, from loving yourself. That one piece of advice that is most significant for you at this point in time, at this point in your life. Because when we are aware, then we can make a change. As they now give you the greatest hug and let you know that you're okay now, and you will continue being okay. And everything that you've ever been through continues to make you stronger. As they give you the greatest hug in the world and send you back through space and time to the center of your heart once again, back into present state, present time. And imagine now giving yourself that greatest hug. And I want you to physically do that. Wrap your arms around yourself. And I want you to experience every single version of yourself, all the way out to the gods and goddesses of the universe, the Jesus, the Buddha, the Mother Marys, giving you the greatest hug. This is the biggest and best group hug that you could ever receive. And just experience that, receive that, allow that right here and right now to fill you up and to ignite that spark even greater, feeling the warmth, the appreciation, the strength. Look at all the shit you've been through. And look at how badass it is making you. Because you choose yourself. And from this moment forward, you get to choose yourself intentionally. Whenever you think about it, whenever your mind needs a little pick-me-up, give yourself that hug. Give yourself that moment of appreciation. Look at where you've been. Look at where you are. And look at where you can be. And bring yourself back to present state, back to present time. Feeling your skin vibrant and alive once again. Feeling your mind clear and crisp. Your heart warm and open. Back to present state, present time, and opening your eyes when you're